Good morning, everyone. Please take this time to gather and be seated in preparation for the celebration of the graduating class of 2020. We will begin shortly.
Hello, and welcome to the Edmund Burke School Class of 2020's graduation ceremony. My name is Mustafa Nazrati, and I have the privilege of serving as the 12th grade dean. In just a moment, the ceremony will be underway. Before it begins, I'd like to explain to everybody what they're going to see. The majority of the speakers you will hear are student speakers. At Burke graduations, we put the focus on the students so they can share with you their experiences of the school and what it means to be a graduate. In just a moment, the first speaker will go ahead and perform. Following them, two more speakers will go, and then we will hear remarks from Head of School Damian Jones. At the conclusion of Damian's remarks, we will hear from more student speakers, a student performer, and then the keynote address from English teacher Alexis Martina. Following the keynote, we will ask the students individually to declare themselves graduates of Edmund Burke School. When the last student is gone, we will then gather everyone together virtually and name them collectively as graduates of the Edmund Burke School for the year 2020. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the ceremony.
The process of writing this speech began similarly to most other speeches and big papers that I have written throughout my time at Burke. First, I open up Safari. Yes, Safari, not Chrome, sorry. And I create a Google Doc to type my thoughts. Then, after I've written a good 3 paragraphs, I get so frustrated by the fact that nothing I'm writing down is good that I slam my computer shut and seriously consider giving up. For this particular instance, I immediately texted Judith, my advisor, these exact words. I've been trying to write my speech for the past hour, but it's really hard and I don't like any of what I'm writing. Before I reveal how exactly I managed to turn out this speech, I'll go ahead and introduce myself. However, this is strictly meant for people who aren't students because given the embarrassing large number of times I've recited speeches in front of this grade, everyone should know me by now. My name is Ellie Saliers, and to be completely honest, the only reason why I even sat down to write this speech is because I've been at Burke since 6th grade and I promised myself in 6th grade that I would do this. Well, Here we are, and I honestly felt like I had nothing of substance to say, until I watched Obama's graduation address to the class of 2020. In his address, Obama mentioned that 2020 high school graduates will be forced to grow up and mature faster than previous years because we're being stripped of this vital transition period between childhood and adulthood. As that idea resonated with me for a while, I realized that we're an exception to this. Burke has already given us the proper tools to prepare us to enter the adult world. So, rather than pretend to be wiser than you all and impart a message that I know you'll probably forget in about a month or so, I'll do what Burke has always done and put myself on the same playing field as you. I mean, literally, since we have no cut sports. What I want to do is remind everyone of how Burke has shaped us into mature, respectful, and kind people. In 6th grade, all 16 of us were handed the harsh reality that we wouldn't be having recess anymore. Although it might have been a shock to us at first, this led to many creative ways to spend lunch, such as watching movies, playing chair tag, eating Zots, and getting brownies the size of our heads from Ashley. In 7th grade, we were finally given real lockers and letter grades. Oh, and Africa Magazine, but maybe I shouldn't remind us of that traumatic time. In 8th grade, we were finally given the ability to go off campus for 2 lunches a week for the first time, which meant buying baguettes, candy, chips, and frappuccinos. In 9th grade, half of you were new to Burke, and our grade doubled in size. This meant the long-awaited start of high school and the opportunity to choose the bathroom or the window side of the commons. In 10th grade, we were finally moved into the atrium, which meant observing the older grades and vaguely understanding how to act more like adults. This is also when we saw all of the rites of passages that seniors experience, such as senior skip day, senior prank, promposals, and the joy of being a third trimester senior. We thought it would be our turn in just 2 short years. In 11th grade, we experienced stress, being in leadership positions, lifting one another up in harder times, and discovering that teachers were there to help us through both academic and personal struggles. Although everyone's experiences were vastly different, in the end, we were able to build a stronger community and learn how to conquer bigger and more serious challenges. And finally, in 12th grade, COVID-19 abruptly ended our year before we had the chance to complete certain milestones, realize it was truly our last year of K-12 education, give our thanks, and say our goodbyes. Through all of these situations and learning experiences, I hope that you will remember the vital tools that each and every one of us already has in order to face our years beyond this school that has 300 students, that plays Don't Stop Believing at every single pep rally, that has a confusing color day schedule in which I'm still unable to tell the difference between indigo and violet, that treats students and teachers as equals, that accepts everyone for who they are, and that I will never forget. Thank you.
Dear fellow classmates and peers, my name is Madison Mackenzie Wellborn. Today, May 31st, 2020, is the day many of us awaited for since the very beginning of our time at Burke. Our first days here feel like yesterday, so close that we can reach out and grab it, but the time it took us to get to this point felt like eternity. From the sleepless nights of studying for finals, writing papers, or doing homework, we have all finally reached the finish line, but in a very different, unexpected way. At the beginning of quarantine, I was somewhat filled with happiness, realizing that I was going to get a well-needed break from all the work I put in over the past 4 years. Little did I know that this so-called break would lead to the second half of our senior year taking place virtually. Let's admit it, we've all felt cheated on by the universe. Yet, I had an epiphany during quarantine, that this time was given to us to make each of us stronger. Spending this time at home with family and ourselves made us realize that we were the class that was meant for this. We were the class that was meant to experience this pandemic because we are going to come out stronger on the other side. With the entire world on pause, people are losing loved ones from this deadly virus. This hits close to home with me because I lost my cousin to COVID-19. My cousin originally went into the hospital to be treated for a pre-existing condition. Unfortunately, while she was in the hospital, she contracted COVID-19. 48 hours later, she was put on a ventilator and subsequently passed away. Due to the pandemic, our family wasn't able to travel to her funeral to mourn the loss with other family members and see her for the final time before the burial. Perseverance is in our blood. I never thought I would reach this point. Like everyone else, my life has been filled with an endless ride of emotions. Up and down, up and down. My mother sacrificed everything for me to reach this point. Since day one, my mother has known the definition of hard work, and over time, becoming that definition. I picked up this very useful life skill over time myself, watching her as I grew up. I witnessed my mom through thick and thin, when times we didn't know how we were going to make it out on the other side. From working two jobs to being unemployed or worrying about how I was going to get picked up from school. She did all of this as a single parent. That's why my mother, Carla Wellborn, is the definition of hard work and dedication. My dad has never been there for me consistently and has not played an active role in my life or upbringing. Initially, I went through a myriad of emotions. I was angry, mad, upset, and depressed, and viewed this as a bad thing. I mean, who wouldn't? However, as I've matured, I began to realize that I couldn't let the non-existent relationship with my father define me as a human being. Instead, I used it as motivation to work harder, to be the best I could be. I was and am determined to be successful, despite the fact that my father has been absent from my life. In turn, it has strengthened me, shaping me into the strong and resilient person that I've become today. So when the COVID-19 pandemic hit, I believe that we all looked at this in a similar fashion. We looked at it as a bad thing. I mean, after all, who wouldn't? We were mad, angry, depressed, and upset. When you know you had the most important year of high school ripped right from under you. But then, I think we all decided, you know what? I'm going to use this as motivation to get through and complete our senior year, despite the fact that it was not going to be under ideal circumstances. So what did we do? We worked, and we worked hard. We fought through and completed difficult projects for school, studied material we didn't understand, pushed through one of the most unprecedented times in our nation's history, and more importantly, we did not give up or give in. With everything that has been thrown our way throughout our time at Burke, we have all worked together and persevered through it all, because we all knew that in the end, it would only make us stronger. It would only make us more resilient. Now, we are here, and every single one of us made it to the finish line. Stronger than we were on the first day we arrived here. Better than we were yesterday. And ready to tackle any battle or obstacle that comes our way in the future. My overall message in telling my own personal story of perseverance as it relates to my dad is to share with you all that we will persevere in our own unique ways. This ending for us at Burke is connected to the personal challenges we have faced as students. I know that we have all gone through or are going through something. I don't know what each of you specifically are dealing with, but I know that we will make it out on the other side, like I did. We are the special graduating high school class of 2020 that was picked for this because as graduates of Burke, we are all strong. Burke strong, Bengal strong. All of us are going to be successful in many different ways, and we will all live very accomplished lives. This chapter may be coming to a close. However, it is only the beginning of a new book filled with new life experiences and challenges. As all 57 of us embark on different pathways of our own, one thing I know for sure, we will all travel down that street named success. You know why? Because we were built for this. We all deserve this, and we will get this. The success and achievements that we all deserve and worked so hard for. Thank you for listening.
Hi everyone. I just want to take a second. I know it's kind of cliche. I just want to take a second to talk about like the world of adults. Because we're sitting here on the brink of adulthood, and anything I know about that comes from just movies and TV shows. and specifically the parts of those movies and TV shows that show these kind of ordinary, everyday experiences that kids don't get to have, but they kind of seep out or on the edges of the adult world, and have really shaped the way I see it now. And so I want to just talk about a couple that have helped me make sense of my time here at Burke, and they've really shaped my view of what's next. And so an early exposure came from an interesting source. There's a movie called The Muppets Take Manhattan. And for people who aren't familiar with The Muppets Take Manhattan, there's a sequence where Kermit the Frog, who's like the head of this animal puppet vaudeville troupe, and he's a frog, as his name suggests. It's not like it's a nickname or something. He gets hit by a taxi, and he loses his memory. And then in the hospital, he's given the new identity of Phil. And Phil is an advertising executive who wears a suit and works in an office, and takes lunch breaks with his coworkers. And to the makers of this movie, who are like middle-aged hippies probably, this is a terrible thing. Kermit's unique spirit and identity has just been crushed into the gray flannel suit. But to young me, all of this just went completely over my head. And the only thing that stuck with me is that I wanted to be Phil. I wanted a desk with a phone on it. I wanted to shuffle papers around. And I wanted to go to meetings with my coworkers and eat lunch at a diner. The Muppets Take Manhattan really taught me that in the adult world, even a frog could become an autonomous, self-supporting citizen. I also want to talk about another movie that has shaped my view of the world that grown-ups live in, and that's the movie Ghostbusters. I like Ghostbusters, mainly for the monsters, but also there's one scene in particular that's really stuck with me, at least the first time I watched it, and that's the scene where Sigourney Weaver, people who know the movie will know this, Sigourney Weaver is returning to her apartment. She has bags full of groceries in her arm. She's walking down her hallway. Rick Moranis, who's her neighbor, kind of bothers her, and she just kind of shrugs him off and then opens the door into her tiny kitchen and just starts unloading her groceries. And then in the next moment you realize her apartment is haunted and there's demons in the fridge, and all that stuff is like really entertaining. But to me, the exciting part of that scene is just seeing somebody living in a high-rise building, having their own little private space within the larger human experience. And that is who I want to be when I grow up. Somebody with their own apartment who can take their time putting away their groceries. Ghostbusters also introduced me to another aspect of adulthood, the late-night, after-hours Chinese takeout dinner. Every child growing up has their fantasy object. For some, it's an F-15 fighter jet. For some, it's a Ferrari. And for me, it was that kind of not quite square cardboard box with that thin metal handle on like a spring or something with like noodles or rice inside. And I would just sit and wondering, what was I doing that's so important that I didn't even have time to stop for dinner? And I needed to call somebody to box my food up and bike it to me from Chinatown. And then I would eat it with sticks right out of the box because I don't even have time to like dump it onto a plate. And the real message of the movie Ghostbusters is that children eat off a plate with a knife and a fork, and adults eat out of a box with sticks. My time at Burke has been filled with these same types of ordinary experience. Taking the subway to school every day, finishing papers in the library on the day they're due, getting mediocre sushi before a late rehearsal, playing board games in the atrium. And while all that seems mundane, there are still parts of me, I guess it's like the childlike wonder inside of me, rising against the cynicism that I feel like it's pretty magical that I've achieved all that kind of stuff. And I think that's also kind of what the movies do. They make the ordinary things seem glamorous, and therefore they make the glamorous achievable. Because I know I'll never dance with a pig, or I'll never bust a ghost, but I'll wear a tie. And I can eat Chinese food late at night, or come home into my tiny kitchen and put my groceries away. And so, as we're all sitting here, imagining what's past this invisible threshold, I personally can say that as I look into the world of my incredible teachers and my kind and supportive family and my fellow frog advertising executives, I can truly say that I have something to look forward to. Thank you, everybody, and happy graduation.
Welcome, parents, family, friends, faculty, staff, alumni, and trustees to Edmund Burke School's commencement ceremony for the class of 2020. I want to thank you for being here today to celebrate the accomplishments of our graduates, and I want to thank you for all of the support you've provided our students over the years in guiding them toward graduation. Your dedication to the lives of your children has been integral to their success, and your commitment to Burke has enabled us to foster a learning environment informed by our mission to consciously bring together a diverse group of students and to actively foster their growth and development as independent thinkers. Throughout their course of study and life experience at Burke, today's graduates have gained great knowledge, valuable skills and abilities, as well as a sense of responsibility and commitment to justice that will enable them to make positive contributions to the world in which we live. At Burke, we remain committed to maintaining a unique school community that believes its students should be diverse in ethnicity, family structure, gender identity, political perspective, race, religion, sexual orientation, and socioeconomic status. This diversity is and will continue to be our schools and our students' greatest strength. The heterogeneity of our community expands the lived experiences of our students and increases their capacity to more nimbly and critically engage in a world that is becoming increasingly diverse. Given all that our graduates have gained from Burke, their experiences would not be possible without the care of our talented faculty and staff. I am grateful for their faithful and steadfast commitment to ensuring that every student in the school is well known and feels meaningfully supported and included in the life of our school. I also want to thank the parents of the graduating class of 2020. Your love and care for your children has brought them to this point in their lives, and the school will be forever grateful for the gift that you have given us in being your partners in the work of raising your children into the young adults that we are celebrating today. And to our graduates, I appreciate all that you have done to influence and uphold our school's mission and culture through your leadership in maintaining an environment that has been welcoming, kind, respectful, inclusive, equitable, and supportive of all community members. Throughout your time at Burke, you have encouraged others to strive towards excellence through the consistent demonstration of your impressive intellectual strengths, exciting creative talents, and notable athletic abilities. It is clear to me that you are imaginative, curious, thoughtful, collaborative, courageous, active, and responsible, and that you are ready to formulate the vital questions of your time, discover essential answers, and arrive at your own informed judgments as individuals eager to actively engage in the world. Class of 2020, please continue to be your authentic selves. You are at your best when you do this. And please continue to welcome others to do the same by encouraging differences of opinions, ideas, interests, expressions, and identities. And I urge you to courageously declare the worth of others and to stand firm in challenging behaviors that demean, marginalize, and exclude people. And above all else, do the just and right thing. As I think about all that you have faced during this challenging period of quarantine and the coronavirus, and as you enter life beyond high school, I'm reminded of words written by our school's namesake Edmund Burke, who wrote, "Never despair, but if you do, work on in despair." And he wrote, "No one could make a greater mistake than he or she who did nothing because he or she could do only a little. I hope that these words will resonate with you now as you look at all that you have achieved during the pandemic, and that these words will stay with you over time because you will learn that life can be hard and that challenges will present themselves. However, despite how difficult a moment may be, and despite the despair that you will inevitably encounter, you have to fully embrace life and the struggles to be faced along the way. And you have to, and you must, press on in the face of it all. You have to believe, even when you think you have little to give, that your actions, no matter how small, have the power to affect change. And you shouldn't make the mistake of thinking that because circumstances are difficult and you can only do a little, that nothing should be done at all. Instead, you have to maintain ongoing faith in a better future and remain steadfast in your ability to make a meaningful contribution to the world. It is also important to remember that life is a team sport, that no one is capable of greatness without help, support, mentorship, and encouragement from others. Your ability to exercise flexibility, care, and openness is essential. As you prepare for the future ahead, I want you to continue to be good friends and trustworthy partners. I want you to treat one another with respect and kindness. And I want you to remain committed to equity, inclusion, and justice. Class of 2020, I stand here in admiration of each and every one of you. And I'm joined by so many in recognition of you today for all that you have done while at Burke, and for all that you will do in the exciting and robust futures that lie ahead of you in the wider world. I wish you all the best on this day, this very special day, your day. Congratulations, class of 2020.
Although this past semester obviously hasn't been the best, the past 4 years with you guys have been great, and I'm really going to miss them. The good thing about online graduation is that it's never been done before, so we can make it really our own and do something unconventional and cool. A lot has happened in the world while we've been in high school. A lot of bad things and some good things too. But what always reminds me of the good things and brings back good memories or brings back to a certain place or a certain time is music. As many of you guys know, I love DJing, but I wouldn't do it at a traditional graduation ceremony. This year's different, so I'm going to do it now. Today I'm going to play some of our favorite songs in the past 4 years that I hope will bring back some good memories and remind us of all of our times together. And I'm going to add some pictures that I think will help with that.
Black Beatles in the city, be back immediately to confiscate the monies. Ray Scrum, wow. My world. You sent flowers, but you said you didn't receive. Put your rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do? 24 karat magic in the air. That's why I need a one dance. Got a Hennessy in my hand. One more time before I go. Higher powers take it wrong. We ain't ever getting older. Yeah, it do not matter. Turned to a savage, pocket got fatter. She call me daddy. Smoking that gas, girl like that Zany, she on a powder. Nowadays I am on my head, I got sadder. Money got longer, speaker got louder. Nobody pray for me, it been a day for me. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, I remember syrup sandwiches and crumb. Despacito, quiero respirar tu cuello despacito. Deja que te diga cosas al oído, para que te acuerdes si no estás conmigo.
I'm in love with the shape of you. I'm in love with the shape of you. she a that. Cooking up in the car. Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding? Say you never ever leave from beside me. Cause I want you, and I need you, and I'm down for you always. She say, do you love me? I tell her only partly. I only love my bed and my mom, I'm sorry. 50 dub, I even got it tatted on me. 81, they'll bring the crashes to the party.
Half of my heart is in Havana, ooh, nah, nah. He took me back to East Atlanta, nah, nah, nah. All of my heart is in Havana. There's something about his manners. Havana, ooh. I'm off the deep end, watch as I dive in. I'll never leave the ground. I'm the bad.
You should make my earthquake. Oh, make my earthquake. Riding around, cause I'll be shaking me up and it's making my heart break.
I got the horses in the back, horse stock is attached. Head is matted black, got the bushes black to match. Riding on a horse, ha, you can whip your Porsche. I been in the valley, you ain't been up off that porch now.
Yeah.
Bien for that I say thank you, next, thank you, next, thank you, next. I'm so grateful.
Pulling out the coupe at the lot, told him 12 SWAT, busting all the bells out the box. I just hit a lick with the box, had to put the stick in the box.
Day and night and morning, keeping me in the moment. I bet you hadn't known it. Why don't you say so?
Carol Baskin killed her husband, whacked him. Can't convince me that it didn't happen. Fed them to tigers, they snacking. What's happening? Carol Baskin.
I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. I said, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch.
As I think about my time at Burke, I think about the culture, the students, teachers, administrators, and coaches that make up this institution. I've been taught many important life lessons, like how to take accountability and self-advocacy. But the most important life lesson I've learned here is how important it is to find a space where you feel heard, loved, and a sense of belonging. The first time I visited Burke, it was an assembly day, and I know a lot of you don't like assemblies, but I always did for some reason. I remember being on the second floor balcony, watching everyone flood into the atrium, and right then I knew that this was the environment I wanted for myself. I felt the sense of community and excitement from the students, and I wanted to be a part of that. But when I got to Burke, my 9th grade year was not easy for me, and I struggled. I questioned my decision to go to such a small school. Thankfully, I found my space at Burke, and that was through the volleyball program, where I played varsity volleyball for 4 years, and the arts department, where I was able to participate in amazing programs and opportunities that I'm so thankful for. I surrounded myself with teachers and coaches and peers that believed in me and made me feel seen and special. Because of them, I was able to succeed. Because I had people who supported me and believed in me, I started to believe in myself more. Opportunities were no longer because I got lucky, but because I was worthy and I earned them. Unfortunately, we are not all here together to show our gratitude for one another, but to be honest, I've never felt more loved and supported by everyone in this school, from the amazing care packages to the group chats and even the awkward Google Hangout classes. After 4 years at Burke, it's obvious to me that I will always have a space where I belong. With that, I hope you find your space, your people, and your community in your life after Burke, where you feel like you belong and where you can succeed. As Winnie the Pooh said, how lucky am I to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard. Thank you, Burke, and thank you, Class of 2020.
I'm honored to be able to speak at such a significant stepping stone in all of our lives. In the fall, no one in their wildest of dreams could have had the idea that we would be attending a virtual graduation in our kitchens and in our living rooms. However, as history has proven many times again, the lives of ordinary Americans can change very quickly. Before I begin, I feel it's appropriate to recognize the outstanding job that Edmund Burke's faculty and staff have done in order to provide us with a school spirit that we are used to when we're present together in the building. Since freshman year, our lives have changed dramatically. As we grew older and wiser, we began to learn more about ourselves and what we're capable of. Over the past 4 years, we've all made and lost friends. We've all seen the best and worst aspects of ourselves and those around us. However, it is these things that make the high school experience so extraordinary and memorable. We all have memories and friends which we will carry with us for the rest of our lives. And it is thanks to the Edmund Burke School, which has provided us a safe space for this self-growth to happen. As we continue to age and our lives and circumstances become more and more complex and sophisticated, I'm pleased to say that the class of 2020 has the mindset to take on future challenges which life will bring. Time and time again, when an issue has come up on the horizon, our class would come together and form an unstoppable force to confront this issue. I'm sure that this pandemic is the first major upset in our lives. However, I'm also confident that it will not be the last. The Edmund Burke community has taught us a valuable lesson of adapting to issues and trusting in ourselves. Edmund Burke has supported us through issues big and small, such as issues as knowing where the location to a classroom is, to the larger issues as knowing when or if we'll be able to attend school again. However, no matter how big the challenge was, we all knew that the Edmund Burke community had our back, no matter what. We now have a collective wisdom which will help us confront future challenges that the world will bring. It is with this strength in ourselves and our community that I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. And I look forward to the day where we can all come together, not only as a class, but most importantly, as a community and a family. As with my traditional practice, I extend to you a virtual handshake as a placeholder until we can see again soon. Thank you.
Edmund Burke School graduating class of 2020, it is an honor to be speaking with you today. And please know that even though we are not together, I am holding you in my heart. And if I squint just right, I can look over there and see you all sitting over in the senior lounge. Of course, attentive as always, sitting up straight, eyes forward, no electronic devices of any kind. When you first asked me to deliver the commencement address, my mind flew through about 1 million memories. I've known some of you since middle school, and I have all the memories. Happy, sad, silly, just plain weird. I have memories of kicking you out of class because you were 13 and had so much energy. I have memories of listening to you speak eloquently about issues that matter to you. Memories of camping, which some of you handled better than others. Memories of arguing about why watching The Incredibles is a legitimate use of English class time. I have been impressed by you. I have been frustrated by you. I have been delighted with you, and I will truly miss you. Through all of your years together, you have always had a strong identity as a class. Configurations of friend groups may have fluctuated here and there, but you have been there for each other, in the classroom, on the field, in the atrium, up and down Connecticut. You have been a constant presence in each other's lives. Sometimes you drove each other crazy. Sometimes you bickered like siblings, but you got to come to school every day and be in the company of people who knew you, the real you. And ultimately, you triumphed as a class. I can't think of a more beautiful symbol of the ways in which the students of the class of 2020 held each other up than when you went ice skating together in New York for your junior year bonding trip. Literally, you were holding each other up. Holding hands, linking arms, you helped each other and laughed and reveled in a shared moment of joy. Runner-up for best bonding moment as a class is, of course, when you demolished last year's seniors during tug of war on Founders Day. Class of 2020, you are remarkable. You are musicians and artists and philosophers and writers and scientists and mathematicians and historians. You are athletes and singers and photographers and dancers and gamers. You advocate for environmental justice. You march against gun violence. You travel all over the country to perform service for marginalized communities in ways that respects their humanity and acknowledges their strength. And at Burke, you have been able to be any and all of these things at once. You have learned that a life is not defined by one field, one passion, one experience. Life is a wonderful combination of all of these things together, and you get to make meaning of your own life. This is it. You are moving into adulthood, into a stage of life where you will take all that you have learned, all your loves, all your losses, all your triumphs, and use them to propel you forward into the exciting future that awaits you. Now, you ask an English teacher to give the commencement address, you must know I'm going to read a poem, right? The poem that I would like to share with you today was written by Amanda Gorman, the first National Youth Poet Laureate. She delivered this poem at the Library of Congress when she was 19 in 2017. In her poem called In This Place, an American Lyric, Gorman begins by referencing the physical building in which she is standing. For her, it's the Library of Congress. For us, it's the atrium, and expands out across our nation, across hurricane-ravaged Texas and Florida, to Michigan, to Charlottesville, to her home in Los Angeles, and demands that we see, amid the struggle and the hurt, that we see the fighters, the helpers, the true spirit of what this country is supposed to be. She wants us to understand the vital role each of us plays in writing the American story. In This Place, an American Lyric. There's a poem in this place, in the footfalls in the halls, in the quiet beat of the seats. It is here, at the curtain of day, where America writes a lyric you must whisper to say. There is a poem in this place, in the heavy grace, in the lined face of this noble building, collections burned and reborn twice. There's a poem in Boston's Copley Square, where protest chants tear through the air like sheets of rain, where the love of many swallows hatred of the few. There's a poem in Charlottesville where tiki torches string a ring of flame tight round the wrist of night, where men so white they gleam blue seem like statues, where men heap that long wax burning ever higher, where heather higher blooms forever in a meadow of resistance. There's a poem in the great sleeping giant of Lake Michigan, defiantly raising its big blue head to Milwaukee and Chicago, a poem begun long ago, blazed into frozen soil, strutting upward and aglow. There's a poem in Florida, in East Texas, where streets swell into a nexus of rivers, cows afloat like mottled boys in the brown, where courage is now so common that 23-year-old Jesus Contreras rescues people from floodwaters. There's a poem in Los Angeles, yawning wide as the Pacific tide, where a single mother swelters in a windowless classroom teaching black and brown students in Watts to spell out their thoughts so her daughter might write this poem for you. There's a lyric in California where thousands of students march for blocks, undocumented and unafraid, where my friend Rosa finds the power to blossom in deadlock, her spirit the bedrock of her community. She knows hope is like a stubborn ship gripping a dock, a truth that you can't stop a dreamer or knock down a dream. How could this not be her city, su nación, our country, our America, our American lyric to write? A poem by the people, the poor, the Protestant, the Muslim, the Jew, the native, the immigrant, the black, the brown, the blind, the brave, the undocumented and undeterred, the woman, the man, the non-binary, the white, the trans, the ally to all of the above and more. Tyrants fear the poet. Now that we know it, we can't blow it. We owe it to show it, not slow it, although it hurts to sow it when the world skirts below it. Hope. We must bestow it, like a wick in the poet so it can grow, lit, bringing with it stories to rewrite. The story of a Texas city depleted but not defeated. A history written that need not be repeated. A nation composed but not yet completed. There's a poem in this place. A poem in America. A poet in every American who rewrites this nation, who tells a story worthy of being told on this minnow of an earth to breathe hope into a palimpsest of time. A poet in every American who sees that our poem penned doesn't mean our poems end. There's a place where this poem dwells. It is here. It is now. In the yellow song of dawn's bell, where we write an American lyric we are just beginning to tell. We are living in a difficult moment. No one knows what the future holds. What we do know is that we will need smart, compassionate leaders to move us forward to the other side of this pandemic, into a life that will be different from anything that we have known before. We are experiencing a tectonic shift that is laying bare and bringing to the nation's collective consciousness vast systems of inequality that have existed from the beginnings of this country. Class of 2020, you have a unique opportunity to have a hand in rebuilding those systems, an incredible opportunity to make an impact. Your creativity and drive will help us write a new American lyric, one that lifts people up, that celebrates our shared humanity. And I know that I speak for all of the faculty and staff who have been a part of your journey when I say that we can't wait to see what you achieve. Congratulations to you all.
Pain is temporary. Pride is forever. 1, 2, 3, Burke. I shouted this cheer along with my teammates on the Burke Middle School girls soccer team every fall before we started our games. These words still feel true to me today. Before the end of our senior year dissipated, I reflected on my time at Burke. The word home kept popping into my mind. Images of the interior of the building kept emerging. I could see myself cheering on the benches as I watched my teammates play sports at the homecoming and blackout games, studying in the atrium with my friends, walking down Connecticut to get Potbelly for lunch, taking the metro downtown to see Verrocchio and Donatello's Davids. Burke has been my home for 7 years now, but the meaning of the word home holds new meaning these days. I came to Burke in 2013 as a little 6th grader with 15 other little 6th graders. Our small group encouraged our tight-knit relationships in our first year of getting to know each other. When I recall memories of field trips and creating games with my friends during late starts in middle school, I see bright smiles. I hear us laughing hysterically as we play MASH on the whiteboard in the geo room. And I feel that sunshine that streams into the atrium and through the windows in the old building stairwells. As soon as I entered the building, I felt embraced by it and the warm people within it. The words Connecticut Avenue, Upton Street, and Van Ness Metro Station will always remind me of this place and the people I've grown so close to over the years. Burke became another safe haven for me in the world, like a home. A nostalgic feeling passes over me every time I think about the next few months ahead of me, going off to college and becoming a Burke alum instead of this Burke student that I've been for almost a decade. Not only have I known some of my peers since 6th grade at Burke, I've known some of my fellow graduates since we were 5 years old. Burke helped me create and recreate these relationships. This place fostered my growth from childhood to adulthood, and I always felt supported and welcomed by the adults and my friends in the building that helped me along the way. We have known each other for so many years at this point. When I think about Burke, I see my home. When I think about my teachers, I see my mentors and my friends. When I think about my peers, I see a family. Something more than being peers in high school binds us together. We are connected and have been connected in so many ways. Maybe that's through the years of being at the same schools together, the classes we took together, or similar interests we have with one another. But I believe that what holds us most united is that we all grew up together in this place, at the corner of Upton and Connecticut, the Edmund Burke School. This place strings our lives together. The pain of being apart right now, the pain of improper farewells, the pain of not knowing whether or not we will be together ever in the same place again, the pain of not sharing smiles and food and laughs in the atrium this spring as we expected is temporary and fleeting. But the pride that we have in our school and in each other will keep us together forever.
Fellow graduates, against all odds, we've arrived. As babies, we managed not to get picked up by birds of prey. Then we navigated the turmoil of 12 long years of school. We overcame a global pandemic, and finally here we are, high school graduates. As it should be, graduation is a celebration of our incredible achievements. This year more than ever, I'm reminded of the superheroes that made this happen, our teachers. I want to thank our teachers for the hard work you've done to salvage our senior experience. Obviously, nothing can replace an in-person graduation ceremony, but the mere fact that you have made this a priority, that you have put this together for us, is deeply touching. You have faced this situation with unbelievable grace. It all happened so fast. On a Wednesday, we were all in school, and on a Thursday, the world was upside down. Our teachers and staff materialized an online curriculum out of thin air, sacrificing their most valuable commodity in the process, sleep, and not to mention time with their own families. In the most uncertain period of a lifetime, you all chose to tend to us first to make sure that we were fully supported. Even on an airplane, they tell you to put your own mask on first before helping a neighbor. Just saying. Your selflessness is inspiring to me. To our teachers, staff, and mentors, thanks to you, we've gotten this far. What you've done for us during this challenging time means the world, and I'll never forget it.
Good afternoon, class of COVID 2020. Since our 2020 vision has not been the vision we necessarily expected, our name is going to forever be class of COVID 2020. It isn't the name we would like to be remembered by, but it's something we have to overcome together. We think of COVID as the dreadful and shocking virus that took the greatest months of our senior year we had to spend together. We worked up to and for this day, and it's taken by us so fast we didn't have time to process it all. But since we're still processing, let's stop the negative way we have been thinking of it and start thinking of it as our own to take our class name back. I thought of this acronym to help me push forward, which I hope will push you guys as well. We are the class of COVID 2020. The C stands for Candid. Our class is so honest and straightforward, it comes across to most of our teachers as being mean to each other. But to us, it is just a play-like sibling thing because we have reached that level of closeness and friendship, just like the regular sibling bickering. I never have been called such names and filled with happiness because I know it comes from love in the heart. I laugh all the time, mostly. It's not hurtful because we all know we don't really mean it, and somehow when we actually do mean it, we still laugh because it feels like a family. O stands for opportunity. Our class is very diverse. I look at everyone and see opportunity. Not meaning diverse through skin, ethnicity, or religion. No, that is too shallow for us. I see diversity in skills, art, photography, and more. I see diversity in personalities, creativity, outgoing. So many opportunities for all the great characteristics we all individually share and put together because they are amazing. I truly feel we can make a difference in the world. The V for COVID stands for Violet. I heard the name Violet has a variety of meanings like love, affection, and faithfulness. Another meaning was the phrase, I'll always be true. Our class is so weird. Like, I never met so many genuinely weird people doing weird things and nobody questions it. We all accepted each other and our weirdness and uniqueness, maybe a better word for it. We were all ourselves and never switched our personalities to fit in. We all were okay with who we are and who each other were, and that's an amazing gift to have because not every class has that. Sometimes it makes me scared to go to college and leave you guys knowing I may not be who I could be or not be who I am because you guys made me feel like I could be myself and not be judged for it. I stands for illuminate. The situation itself isn't illuminating, but our personalities and our love for each other have definitely lightened the situation. We have this big texting group chat with at least 11 of us texting and FaceTiming every night. I can't even count the number of times we have FaceTime until 4 or 5 a.m. and I beg you guys to stay on the call with me because I miss you guys so much. Breaks my heart our graduation is like this, but we are making the best of it. And lastly, D stands for dope. Not only our class, but all 2020 graduates are definitely a dope group of kids. Who else can say this happened to them senior year? Nobody. It definitely isn't dope now, but when we look at it in 10 years, we will laugh and reminisce. This is what we all will remember for. The most iconic thing that happened to us and forever remembered in history. I try not to think about it as why us, even though it's very hard to do right now. I think of it as, of course, us, because we're handling this so well. We were put through this to make us stronger. We were given this because we are the only ones who can make it the best that it could be. The strongest senior class out there. Candid, Opportunity, Violet, Illuminate, Dope. That is the class of COVID 2020. We are in and now we're out with a roll on our finger to our bright future ahead. Thank you and I love you guys.
My name is Ian Holdridge. I'm a graduate of Edmund Burke School.
My name is Anna Brooks, and I am a graduate of Edmund Burke School.
I'm Ariane Cure, and I'm a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
My name is Arn Guptamer, and I'm a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
My name is Ben McClenahan, and I'm a graduate of Edmund Burke School.
My name is Booker Vizo, and I'm a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
Hi, my name is Caleb Weaver, and I'm a graduate of Edmund Burke School.
My name is Dante Stasio, and I'm a graduate of Edmund Burke School.
I'm Daphne Savukis, and I'm a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
My name is Eddie Dong, and I'm a graduate of Edmund Burke School.
My name is Ellis Barrison Chair, and I am a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
My name is Ella Schomburg, and I'm a graduate of Edmund Burke School.
My name is Ellie Saliers, and I'm a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
My name is Ethan Neufeld, and I'm a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
My name is Etienne Jackson Jones, and I'm a graduate of Edmund Burke School.
I'm Felix Beaker, and I'm a graduate of Edmund Burke School.
I'm Finn Backer, and I'm a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
Hi, I'm Gabriel Canfidel, and I'm a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
I am Gigi Sherman, and I'm a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
I'm Han Fufana, and I'm a graduate of Edmund Burke School.
My name is Amon Smith, and I'm a graduate of Edmund Burke School.
Hi, my name is India Berry, and I am a graduate of Edmund Burke School.
My name is Isaac Wise Clint, and I am a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
My name is Jack Wong, and I'm a graduate from Edmund Burke School.
I'm Jake Jarvis, and I'm a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
My name is Jacob Bannon McDevitt, and I am a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
My name is Jeremy Rubin, and I am a graduate of Edmund Burke School.
My name is Jonah Gerson, and I'm a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
I'm Kira Russell, and I'm an Edmund Burke graduate.
My name is Cornelia Moshes, and I'm a graduate of Edmund Burke School.
My name is Leonardo Escobar, and I am a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
Hi, I'm Lily Marcoux, and I'm a graduate of Edmund Burke School.
My name is Madison Wellborn, and I am a graduate of Edmund Burke School.
My name is Max Dryviser, and I'm a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
I'm Maya Green Johnson Frayden, and I'm a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
Hi, my name is Miles Nelson, and I'm a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
I am Ned Zane, a graduate from Edmund Burke School.
My name is Nicholas Cruz, and I'm a graduate of Edmund Burke School.
My name is Oren Strobel, and I'm a graduate of Edmund Burke School.
I'm Paul Keenan, and I'm a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
My name is Quinn Olson, and I'm a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
My name is Robbie Dyson, and I'm a graduate of Edmund Burke School.
My name is Sam Nider, and I'm a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
I'm Samantha Strauss, and I'm a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
My name is Sanjay Sujatin Forster, and I'm a graduate of Edmund Burke School.
My name is Sasha Rosenbaum, and I am a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
I'm Sophia Short, and I'm a graduate from the Edmund Burke School class of 2020.
My name is Sophie Wall Taylor. I'm a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
My name is Stella McGee, and I'm a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
I am Vanessa Davies, and I am a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
Hi, my name is Will Cully, and I'm a graduate of Edmund Burke School.
I'm William Edwards, and I'm a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.
My name is Zachary Tanner, and I'm a graduate of the Edmund Burke School.